Welcome back, everyone. Today is June 17th, 2025, and we are witnessing the unraveling of a geopolitical earthquake. The conflict between Israel and Iran has erupted into open war. And this is not just about the Middle East. This is a global inflection point. Israel is bombing Iranian infrastructure. Iran is striking back with missile barrages. Both governments are calling their people to brace for a long and bitter conflict. And now the question is, who breaks first? Will it be Iranian society, weary, sanctioned, and pushed to the brink? Or will it be Israel, increasingly isolated, its cities under fire, its economy in free fall? Let's dive into what's happening and what could come next. The war began not with a single event, but with a build-up of provocations. Covert assassinations, drone strikes, cyber warfare. Then, suddenly, it was no longer in the shadows. Israel struck Tehran's military command infrastructure. It bombed Iranian power stations. Civilian targets were hit, including hospitals and student dormitories. Iran responded with dozens of missiles launched from deep inside its territory. Precision strikes targeted Israeli air bases and logistics routes. As the dust settled, neither side showed signs of backing down. But this is not just a war of bombs. This is a war of psychology, a war of legitimacy and propaganda. On social media, Iranian officials urged their citizens to resist and embrace martyrdom. Israeli officials tell citizens to flee Tel Aviv. Netanyahu's government is clear about its goal: regime change in Tehran. They've shifted from defending Israeli security to launching a full-fledged war on Iran's political system. Meanwhile, Iran's proxies, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hashd al-Shaabi in Iraq, Houthis in Yemen, are on alert. And a strange new voice has entered the picture. Reza Pahlavi, son of the ousted Shah of Iran. He's calling on the Iranian people to rise up. From Paris to LA, monarchist exiles are activating, many reportedly with Israeli backing. Even the Iranian branch of the PKK has declared it's ready to collaborate with Israeli intelligence. The chessboard is flooded with strange alliances. 24 U.S. refueling planes have taken off from American bases. The USS Nimitz carrier strike group is repositioning from the Pacific toward the Middle East. B-2 stealth bombers are now in range. But is the U.S. going to intervene? Trump was asked directly, "Will America enter the war?" His response, "I don't want to answer that right now." That silence speaks volumes, because for Washington, this war is a trap. If the U.S. intervenes, it may finally shatter its global credibility and bankrupt itself in another endless desert war. Yet if it doesn't, Israel may fall. And so, the superpower hesitates. Here's the dangerous part. If the U.S. won't join the war voluntarily, someone might force it to. A drone attack just occurred at the U.S. consulate in Erbil. No casualties. No claim of responsibility. Could it have been Iran? Unlikely. Tehran knows what a direct strike would unleash. More likely it's a provocation. A pretext. History repeats. From the sinking of the Lusitania to 9/11s, wars need catalysts. And those catalysts are often manufactured. Netanyahu may believe that only a spectacular attack on American assets can drag Trump into war. The machinery is in motion, and the fuse is lit. Make no mistake, Israel isn't just targeting Iranian missile silos. It's going after water plants, power grids, telecom infrastructure. The goal is to paralyze Iran, to break its will from within. And there's a precedent. This is how regime change happens in the 21st century. First, sow panic, then cut off access, then wait for revolt. But Iran knows this playbook, and it's not without its own. For decades, Iran has backed proxy militias to project power in Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, and Yemen. But what happens when Iran becomes the proxy? Just as Ukraine served as a proxy for NATO against Russia, Iran now risks becoming a proxy for BRICS and China against the United States and its allies. Beijing and Moscow remain silent, but they're watching. Because if Iran survives and bleeds the West, it may become a symbol of multipolar resistance. The question is, will it survive long enough? Trump is facing enormous pressure. Pro-war neoconservatives are demanding intervention. Zionist lobbies are calling in every favor. But Trump remembers, he once said, "We wasted $7 trillion in the Middle East. We could have rebuilt our entire country twice." He doesn't want another war. But will he have a choice? The Pentagon is divided. CENTCOM wants to move assets to the Middle East. National security officials warn the real threat is in the Pacific. And then there's the oil factor. If Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz, where 1/3 of the world's oil passes, prices could triple. Europe would collapse. China would retaliate. The dollar could fall. So Trump stalls, delays, hedges. But the clock is ticking. This war won't be won with firepower. It'll be won with stamina. And here's the brutal truth. Iranian society is more hardened to suffering. They've endured sanctions, assassinations, and isolation for decades. They're used to scarcity. Israel, for all its technology, is not built for long wars. Daily sirens, missiles, $1 billion a day in war spending, civilian panic, economic bleeding. Who blinks first? If Iran can survive, Israel might collapse from within. That's the gamble Netanyahu is taking. And it may cost him everything. Let's zoom out. At the G7 summit, Trump reportedly told allies, if Russia were still in the G8, this wouldn't be happening. In Europe, unrest is rising. A professor from King's College in London warned, a major European country is likely to face civil war within 5 years. Why does this matter? Because Western unity is cracking. And if the U.S. becomes entangled in a Middle Eastern war, China might move on Taiwan. Russia might push further into Eastern Europe. A second global front could open. This isn't just about Iran. It's about the entire world order teetering on the edge. And where is Turkey in all this? President Erdogan has declared, Israel is putting its own existence at risk. Behind closed doors, Turkey, Iran, and Pakistan are reportedly exploring a new Islamic military alliance. China, paralyzed. On one hand, it supports Iran through BRICS and the CO. On the other, it has deep tech ties with Israel. Beijing's silence is deafening and dangerous. And in the shadows, there's a final nightmare scenario. What if Israel strikes Iran's nuclear facilities directly? What if it succeeds? Would Iran retaliate with everything it has? Would the U.S. then be forced to go all in? Would World War III begin in the mountains of Persia? This is not just a war. It's a stress test for the global system. The U.S. is divided. Europe is crumbling. China is confused. Russia is busy. Israel is desperate. And Iran is burning. But no one knows how this ends. Will cooler heads prevail? Or will someone somewhere write the final match? Let's be clear. If the U.S. goes in, it won't come out clean. This will be long, bloody, and unpredictable. The Middle East may be about to redraw its own borders. And what emerges from the ashes may not resemble the world we know. If you found this analysis valuable, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. We're witnessing history. Don't just watch it. Understand it. We'll see you in the next one.